Hey guys, welcome back to Garage Gear. I'm JB. So we got a snowblower here. This came compliments of my buddy Joe at work, and he handed it to me for free. He said it's going to need a tune-up. It doesn't quite run that well. I haven't even honestly tried to pull start this thing, and you know what? I'm not even going to bother. I know the carburetor is going to need some work. The fuel line has a fuel filter on there that I guaranteed is probably crumbed up. So guess what? We're going to give it all a quick cleaning. Then we'll see if we can get it started, all right? So we're going to have some fun with this project, all right? And I'll tell you what's in store for it down the road later, all right? Let's get to it. So here we go. We're taking a look at this carburetor. This snowblower is in what's called the service position. I just like to call it the upside down position, but hey, I noticed a little bit of leakage down at the bottom here. I guess we'll have to get a good look and see where things are at, but everything else seems to be fine in here. This fuel line has an old fuel filter. You can see some crummy old fuel, dark fuels in there. This carburetor's got a little bit of dirt around it, so chances are something dirty is inside. So we're gonna put a towel underneath here in case anything does decide to spill out and doesn't make a huge mess. But oddly enough, this has Allen key bolts here, which is very odd, and Tecumsehs are just weird like that, and why they are that way I don't know. But fuel line's off. I'm gonna have to get this primer line off too. I gotta be careful with that because I don't want to get too crazy and rip it or tear it. So I'm gonna do a little trick I like to do, is where I jam a screwdriver up underneath it and kind of push it off. Sometimes that works. I don't really have much to go on, so I guess I'm gonna have to go with the old needle nose, but this sometimes roughs it up and I don't like doing that. I have another flatter screwdriver. Maybe not. Worst comes to worst, if I do rip this, which I may just have. Yeah, I might have. All I'm gonna do is just take a little bit right here, snip it right off. I'll get that piece out later. But now I kind of have a fresh end to go with. I still have plenty of slack on here, tons of reach. I'll be fine. Next, some Allen keys. Let's see what we got. Sometimes this is my magic one right here. It's the only one I have like this. And you know what? It works for just about everything. I fix my rollerblades with this. And you know what? This one might do it. Seems to fit. Yeah, there we go. We got it. I'm going to take it slow here. I don't want to force it off, because then if you break these things, then you're spending money on it. And I got this for free. Want to kind of keep the cost low on it. There's that one. Now some people just decide to take off the carburetor bowl and clean it that way. I like to take the whole thing apart and really attack it with carb cleaner and just go to town. That way there's no reason to maybe have to clean it twice. I just get it done that way. Let's see, so there's one bolt. And then another. Now I got some other carburetor cleaning videos on my channel, and those are on Makuni carburetors, and those I think are honest to God the easiest ones to clean. These Tecumseh ones can be a pain, and I don't like them. So maybe I'll get lucky with this one, but I'm gonna throw some gloves on first because I can already see that this is gonna be messy. There we go. All right, so we got one hole, one spring, and then one little bar there that has to go in it. So we're gonna get the little spring out first. I don't want to bend it. that. And then there's that. These little butterflies seem to move pretty nicely, which is good. 30 on top. We'll crack this bad boy open on the workbench and we'll see what we got. All right, so here we are. Let me tell you a reason why I don't like these things. This little guy right here. These always seem to leak. Why would Tecumseh make a carburetor like this that's bound to leak down the road? I mean, there's a small seal in there. I think those are junk. I've seen better carburetors that don't have something there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna crack this bolt off, get the bowl off, and see what kind of a mess we have inside. Looks like a 1/2 inch. Yep. There's that. Got some gas inside. Look at that. It's black. Some debris. Give that a cleaning, but all in all, that bowl's in pretty good shape. It's not rotted, pitted. You have to take a look at this guy. Everything's just blackened in here. Looks like still it's pretty good and reusable. Might get away with a quick cleaning here. I might have to be careful where I spray. There looks like some gaskets in there that might be a little tricky to get out. That came right out. This one's got an all-important little spring right here, so we're going to make sure we put that back exactly the way it was. Pop this guy off. There's my needle, which appears to be in pretty good shape. Then this little spring. Which seems to be part of the bowl seal. It's something new. Can I get this off in one piece? Don't want that spring to go flying. There's the spring. Got to remember the short side, little stubby end, goes in to the seal. Seal seems to be still pretty good. Might have to just give it a quick cleaning, a quick little wipe down. So we'll do that. And it would appear that I have rubber seals in all different spots on this guy. So I got to be really careful when I'm spraying carb cleaner. That's a little concerning to me because these gaskets will blow up inside here and here. I don't know if you guys can see them all that clearly, but we're going to have to give this a real quick cleaning. Let's see how it goes. All right, so here's the game plan. What we're going to do is we are going to first try to get this gasket off, which is almost all the way off. It's kind of like just stuck on by one spot. And sometimes if I can work it off this way, it's usually okay, but I'm starting to get a little bit of tearing, so I'm gonna let it be. I'm not gonna do any more damage. I'm gonna clean off the outside. So I'm gonna use some carb cleaner here, and we'll go at this guy. by the way. Safety goggles are important. This stuff will burn your eyes if you get it in. Let's clean it off. I'm running out here. See, this thing's looking cleaner already. That's a good sign. It's just the start. I'm gonna grab another can. It's funny, when I go shopping for carb cleaner, I will literally buy 5, maybe 6 cans at a time because I know I'm going to use it. I use just about a full can on every carburetor I clean. Get inside. Both sides of this butterfly. I'm going to hold the butterfly open. I'm going to spray inside. And then it's going to kind of drip out the other end. Any little jets or ports, I'm going to get in there. Hit those. There's like a hair on here. Jeez. Joe, what's going on? What are you putting in this thing? I want to blast this emulsion tube. There is some rubber inside, so I got to be real careful, real quick. Done. That'll do. That's all I'm going to do for that. Where the needle goes, I normally spray in there, but I don't want to because I have a gasket in there, and I want to keep it in one piece. So let's see. I'm going to give outside one more coat. See if this knocks anything else off. Real quick on the inside. That'll do. Primer jet. I think that'll do. So this part, I'm going to leave to the side. And you can actually see, like this stuff, I don't know how people clean carburetors with bare hands, because look at this. I have rubber gloves, and these were once kind of like this. Now look at them. They're kind of like flexible and deteriorating. It's weird. It's strong stuff. Now, inside this bowl, you can see on the lip here, there's some grime. There's stuff inside. I got to be careful of this little gasket. I don't think it'll leak too much from there, but there is some stuff here kind of coming out. So we're going to give it a look. There's another hair on here. Jeez. Now what I like to do with the bowls is actually just clean the outside, clean the inside. Everything's off of this stuff. You can't get anything else in it. You just spread stuff around if you keep it on the outside. So I'm going to do the inside one more time, get that all cleaned out. And boom, there we go. Bowl's done. I'm going to wipe that clean. I hope this works, because you know what? I think it will. Pretty sure it will. I have a surprise for somebody with it. I'll talk more about that at the end. So, pretty clean. There is a little corrosion. Look at that. These gloves are just falling apart now. There's a little bit of corrosion. Still around the outside of the bowl, but I think it'll pass for inspection. I think we'll be fine. Next, I'm going to wipe off this gasket. There's a little bit of residue from the carb cleaner on this paper towel, but I'm just going to pass it through, kind of wipe off the grime, and you can see there's some dirt. That should do. That's all I need for that. The needle, if I take this needle and I hold it with my pliers, Done. That's all that needs. Pin. Same thing. Done. Float. I don't hear any fluid inside, so that's a good sign, because then if you have fluid in there, that's going to throw off the balance of the float. Float itself is a little worn. You can see right there, but it'll be fine. Then I have the bolt. Now this bolt has a little gasket on it. We're going to take that gasket off. We could probably reuse that, but that hole right there is clogged. That probably is the major reason Joe's snowblower wouldn't work. There's a little thin hole right here as well. I can kind of see light through that one. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna hit this with some carb cleaner first. And I'm gonna put it right up to it if I can. Shooting through the other one, that's good. I'm gonna put it right inside, and it's coming right out both sides. Done. I can now see through that hole, and it's hard to tell on camera, but I can now see through it. What I'm gonna do is, just because I'm a little bit of a nut with this stuff, is I have a wire brush right here with a bristle sticking off. I'm gonna stick that into the holes right here and just kind of wiggle it around a little bit, kind of clean out any gunk. And then for that real thin hole, it's going in. If it will go. That is thin. There it goes. It's in. I'm going to wiggle it around there, kind of clean that hole out. Good. That'll do. And then I'm going to hit this one more time with carb cleaner. Wipe the junk off of it. Good. Done. Now we're gonna blow dry everything, put it back together. We'll see where we go from there. So here's going to be the tricky part, putting this little spring back. Now we're at the point where we're putting this whole carburetor back together, and there goes my gasket. We're going to put this whole thing back together, and this little spring is going to be a pain. Now I can lose the gloves at this point because, number one, the gloves got some dirt on them. I don't need them anymore, and we have a clean carburetor that we're working with. So this now goes back on like so. And if anybody's ever worked on these, please feel free to comment. Like and subscribe as always, people. But please feel free to comment, help me out. We all help each other out a little bit. These are tricky to get on here. Thanks to Comsa for making a great engine. Almost there, almost there, almost there, almost. Come on! Go on! Stupid seal. There we go. Okay, spring seems to be in a decent spot. I'm happy with it. Seems to be pretty much right back where it had to go. Maybe I could shuffle it over a little, but I don't know if that's really worth it or not at this point. So, next step, we have a needle and a float and a pin. So if we look here, there's a little slot. This needle has to go into this slot. Like that. That'll do. Then what we gotta do, this is gonna be the funky part. And again, this is why Tecumsehs are stupid in my book. Little things like this. I just don't understand this. But we're gonna feed this pin through. Maybe we'll get lucky. There we go. We got it. A little time, a little patience makes everything right. There it is. She's in. Now I just blew on it really quick. On here, it's clean, and when I pushed up on it, nothing comes out. I open it up, air comes out. So that's a working gasket in there. So that's good news. Now, we have the carburetor like this, and the way this float goes, this actually has an added extension here on this bowl. We want the float to kind of go into that added extension so it has more room to flow down. I'm going to push this on. Everything appears to be centered here pretty good. The real proof is going to be when we fill this up with gas and if it starts leaking all over the place. And if that's the case, then I'm going to have to take the bowl back off and I'm going to have to figure something out with this, because I guarantee if it's going to leak, it's going to leak there. It's not going to leak anywhere else. So we're going to pop that guy back in. Get that there. Snug this down. Good, that'll do. All right, let's go give it a shot. Okay, so before I get this carburetor back in here, I'm noticing that this thing has a brand new spark plug. So I probably don't gotta get too crazy with that. If anything, I could clean it. We'll give it a shot though. Down here, where the gas or the fuel line connects to the gas tank, this is coming off. This is old fuel line. I can see crummy fuel inside this fuel filter. I'm not even gonna bother with that. That whole tube is coming off. It's all right if it goes without a fuel filter. It'll be fine, it'll live. So, I'm gonna take this off. Should probably be this guy, yep. Loosen this right up. And winter's coming. I mean, we could get snow. Jeez, we're in Buffalo. We can get snow any day now. It could just happen. This fuel line seems like it's on there pretty good, so we might have to wrestle it off a little. And this snowblower is actually kind of nice. It's got electric start. All the features are in pretty good shape on here, just minus a little surface rust on the handlebars, but everything else seems to be pretty good. I'm looking down inside the engine here, and the piston looks in good shape. Everything looks clean inside there, so this is actually not that bad. This might be a quick tune-up, we'll see. Time will tell. All right, off this comes. I'm done with this hose. And actually, I have a brand new piece that is just the right length. How convenient is that? So bye-bye to that one. We're gonna slide this guy on, but first, I'm gonna put on a new clamp. Well, maybe I can reuse the old one. Yeah, I can. So we're gonna reuse the old one. That'll work. Now a trick to getting these on, you can heat them up with like a hair dryer and it'll go on. If there's a little bit of gas on there, sometimes you can just push it right on and it'll go. This one appears to just be wanting to go on, so it's gonna go on just like that. And then, yep, it's all the way on. Get this guy up here. Twist that bad boy up there. And done. And tighten it down. It's on there pretty snug. I don't want it so tight that it's actually going to start to rip into it, but that looks like a good fuel line to me. So, next step, we're going to bolt on the carburetor. What's funny is the one bolt didn't even come out. Now, if this does not want to run for some reason, my next check is going to be right there on that spark plug. Boom. Boom. Get this down. I'm just going to snug it down real quick just so I can get the other side. I like to do equal pressure on the bolts. It helps the gasket kind of form flatter to the surface. So I'll crank on one side, crank on the other, drop the tools in the process. This clutch gets in the way, or the choke gets in the way. Tighten it down. Tighten it down. Good. Good. So if I go anymore, I'm going to strip it. So that's that. All right, so now we're going to put the primer hose back on, which I took a little chunk off of just to kind of clean it up a little. That's on, that's easy. And then all we need is a clamp for this. So thank you, Harbor Freight, for selling a whole pack for like $2. Of course, I don't have one in there. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Got one of these little clamp ends. Open it up. Hold it. Pop it on. Pull it back a little bit. What we'll do, stick that on. That fits very nice. What we do is we just slide it up. I'm going to try to get it most of the way here. There we go. She's on. Okay. So now, moment of truth here. So now this snowblower requires 40-to-1 gas. I like buying this True Fuel or Power Care at Home Depot. This stuff is clean, 92 octane, ethanol free. This is good stuff. We're gonna pour this in. This will probably end up taking the whole can, but this is good stuff. You don't really gotta worry about engine issues once you start using this stuff too. I'm gonna pop this in. Probably won't put in the whole can just because we're kind of getting this running. That's about half. That's more than enough. And then another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean off this gas cap. This got some like white residue on here. I'm gonna wipe this off really quick. So here we are, finally got this thing all ready to go. Actually went ahead and put an extra step into this. I put a cover over the spark plug because there wasn't one, it was missing. So we took care of it. I found a piece of plastic, carved it down, and we're good there. This baby's ready to go. Let's get it started. All cleaned out in the carb. We're gonna give it a few Optimus primes here. Sounds like gas is flowing. Let's give it a rip. That thing sounds like a gunshot going off when it was running on a little bit of choke, but I took the choke off and then it cleaned up a little bit. It needed some time to run. That was an older machine, probably hasn't ran in a long time, but now it runs great. It's gonna work great. I'm gonna give the electric start a test here. We're gonna check that out. We're gonna make sure that works too, because this does have electric start. Key back in ignition, let's give it a shot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We got it running in no time flat. I mean, that was a quick tune-up on this thing. And I got a little surprise for my dad. His birthday's coming up. He's been talking about getting one of these to do his back patio with, because it's kind of hard to push his bigger snowblower around the backyard to get to the patio. So he said, he's like, I've been looking for one of these smaller push-around ones, the 2-cycle. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So a little surprise for Dad for his birthday next month. So cool. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. As always, like, subscribe, and we got more videos coming your way. I'm JB. Thanks for watching Garage Gear, and we'll see you all really soon.